would like to ask, yes, you may be excused, ma'am. Ambassador Charmaine, to please take your seat. And please proceed with your opening statement, ma'am.
Mr. Chairperson, the honorable members of the Commission on Appointments, good morning. I am honored to appear before this esteemed body to humbly present myself for consideration as the Philippine nominee for the position of Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the Arab Republic of Egypt, with concurrent jurisdiction over the Republic of Djibouti, the State of Eritrea, and the Republic of the Sudan. I have been with the Department of Foreign Affairs for 28 years now, and I currently serve as the Philippine Consulate General in Sydney, Australia, ministering to the needs of some 152,000 Filipinos in New South Wales. Throughout my career, I have been privileged to represent our country in various capacities. I was assigned at the Philippine Consulate General in Agana as a very young officer, and also to the Philippine Embassy in Cairo, Egypt, also as a young officer. After that, I was posted in Athens, Greece, and in Oslo, Norway. And throughout all these postings, I have always been guided by the core principles of professionalism, integrity, and service to the Filipino people. The opportunity to serve as ambassador to Egypt comes at a significant time as the Philippines and Egypt prepare to commemorate 80 years of bilateral relations in 2026. And should I be confirmed, I am fully committed to build on the excellent work of my predecessors in further strengthening cooperation between our two countries, particularly in the areas of migration, agriculture, tourism, promotion of culture, and the protection of our Filipino community in Egypt and in the broader region. And I also see opportunities for closer collaboration by sharing Philippine expertise in infrastructure development, including in solar energy, irrigation, fisheries, and agriculture, fields that can contribute meaningfully to Egypt's development priorities and deepen our partnership. And I humbly seek the kind consideration of the Honorable Commission for my confirmation, and I pledge to carry out my duties with dedication and to the best of my abilities in the service of our nation and our people. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson and honorable members of the Commission.
Thank you, Ambassador Aviquivil. The floor is now open for any questions. Representative Mercado is hereby recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Ambassador. Ambassador, I understand that there are renewed conflicts in Middle East and Northeast Africa, including the prolonged instability in Sudan. There are maritime tensions in the Red Sea as well. How do you plan to position the Philippine Embassy in Egypt as a hub for regional monitoring, diplomacy, and protection for our kababayans who are in these particular areas?
Please open your mic, madam.
Thank you. Egypt has always been the center of the region in terms of peacemaking, and as the Philippine ambassador, as the forthcoming Philippine ambassador to Egypt, I plan to or support all efforts for the humanitarian relief of the Palestinian people and the other people affected by conflicts. During my first posting, we were free to come and go in Sudan. Unfortunately, after the April 2023 conflict, that has not been the case. Our Filipinos there have been repatriated, and most of them are now out of that country, and our honorary consul there is no longer based there. But of course, we will continue to serve as the listening post in the region, and Egypt is strategically placed, strategically positioned for that endeavor.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. So the Philippine Embassy in that particular region is safe. Hindi naman, hindi natin nilalagay sa alanganin ng ating mga empleyado sa embahada.
Opo. Right now, ang alert level po natin is alert level 1. So there are no impending conflicts that we know of.
Would you have any idea of how many Filipinos have been repatriated already from Sudan and are back already in the Philippines?
Based on the information that I got, around 890 have been repatriated since then. I received information that there remains some 70, but they are there is at present no information as to their whereabouts. But should I be confirmed, we will commit to find out through our contacts there where they are.
In May 2025, Egypt granted market access for Philippine durian exports. At that same time, humingi rin po sila sa atin na buksan natin ang market para sa sibuyas, garlic, potatoes, and grapes. How is it performing? Kamusta naman po yung ating economic ties in terms of providing these particular products? And have you coordinated with the Department of Agriculture in order to promote our products to Egypt?
Sorry. That will be the first order of business when I assume, Madam. And I'm very glad to see that our durian products are gaining market access in Cairo. When I was first posted there, there were hardly any Filipino products in Egypt. So with the passing of the years, I'm glad that the access for our agricultural products are beginning to be opened up.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Hopefully, you would be an instrument to make sure that our products are well promoted in that particular area. Thank you very much, Madam Ambassador. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. You
Thank
have my
you.
support.
Thank you, Congresswoman Lani. Before that, we'd like to recognize our Senator, Senator Manuel Lito Lapid. Thank you for attending. As Vice Chairperson of the Committee on Foreign Affairs. Are there any other members who would like to? Madam Senator Amy Marcos, please.
Yes, I'd just like to manifest my support from a fellow Northerner like yourself and Congressman Gico and the rest who are here. I'm aware that the middle name is Kawili, which is very familiar to all of us. And I also understand from your colleagues that you led very successfully the COVID response of the department and its members all throughout the world during that difficult time. So congratulations, and we look forward to your continued exemplary service.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Senator.
Thank you, Madam Senator Amy Marcos. Are there any other?
Yes,
Yes, Congressman Eddie Bong Plaza is hereby recognized.
I would just like to congratulate and manifest my support because way back November of 2022, when I started my journey in regarding soil health, your people in Sydney provided us all the necessary logistics and so on and so forth. So that was the start of my journey, together with our chairman in agriculture in the House of Representatives, Congressman Mark Enverga. And we were taken care of, really. I would like to thank, and you have my support with regards to you being an ambassador of Egypt. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you,
Thank you very much, sir.
Congressman Plaza. Thank you. Congressman Marcoleta is hereby recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Marcoleta is hereby recognized. Kasama po kasi namin last Congress si Congressman and now Senator Rodante Marcoleta.
Madam Ambassador, you are being placed to Egypt, a country which is between two conflicting zones. Sudan and Gaza. Is it because you had a previous experience, like when you were assigned in Libya, you were able to transport or evacuate some 2,000 distressed Filipinos to a safe place? Am I correct?
Thank you for your question, Your Honor. I was actually assigned in Greece, and from there we helped in the repatriation efforts of Filipinos in Libya through Crete. So our embassy secured the services of a vessel to transport some 2,000 nationals in two batches from Misrata and Benghazi through the island of Crete. And this was done through coordination with the Greek authorities, Your Honor.
And it would seem that is providential. That experience served as providential because you are now being placed in Egypt, which is also a place where potential conflicts might use Egypt as a transport route for our overseas Filipino workers. I would suppose that, Madam.
Your Honor, Egypt, the Philippine Embassy in Egypt has always been supportive of efforts to repatriate our distressed nationals through the border, through the Rafah border, and we hope to continue to do that. The embassy has a very good contingency plan, and that is what will help us prepare in the event that that situation.
Do you have the number of Filipino migrant workers still living in or working in Sudan and Gaza? And the potential opportunity of transporting them to Egypt, if ever?
In Sudan, it is said that there are around 70, but currently the embassy has no knowledge on where they are because most of them have been repatriated after the 2023 conflict. As to those in Gaza, I don't have the numbers on that, sir. But as for Filipinos in Egypt, there are currently 2,300 now present.
What is the capital of Sudan? Khartoum.
Khartoum, sir. And I've had the privilege to visit Khartoum during a consular outreach mission way back in my first posting.
Madam Ambassador, meron na pong bagong batas yata ang Ehipto, yung New Labor Law number 14, 2025, which took effect on September 1, 2025. Ito po yata ay hindi kino-cover yung domestic or household workers. Meron po ba tayong mga domestic workers sa Egypt?
In fact, karamihan po ng ating mga Pilipino na nandoon ay mga household service workers, but unfortunately they are irregular. They often they come from areas where they are allowed to work as domestics and are brought to Egypt by their sponsors. So when they reach Egypt, they become irregular. So
The new law, Madam, walang ini-issue work permits and work visas para sa household workers. It
Well-
might be a potential problem for household workers in Egypt. How do you propose to solve this or anticipate potential problems that might arise from this?
Actually, right now, ang embassy po natin ay hindi nagkukulang sa pagpapaalam sa ating mga Pilipino na bagamat meron ng bagong batas, hindi po talaga sakop ang mga household service workers. At sa aming assistance to nationals pillar, tayo po ay patuloy pa rin nating binibigyan sila ng protection kahit na under Egyptian law wala po silang protection sa batas. So kung naroon na po tayo susubukan po nating makipag-usap sa mga Egyptian authorities para kung paano maibsan yung mga ang sitwasyon ng ating mga household service workers.
Susubukan pa lang, madam.
Opo.
Kasi yun pong bagong batas na yan ay palagay ko nakasulat pa sa Arabic, hindi ba? It should have been translated to language, sa ating language, kasi lalong-lalo na po yung ating mga kababayan nagtatrabaho dyan, household workers, hindi naman nila kabisado po
Opo.
yung batas kung hindi naman nakalimbag sa ating wika. Pangalawa, kung wala naman pong kakatulong na mga legal staff ninyo, baka mahirapan po sila na tingnan yung kontrata, lalong-lalo na po dun sa mga panig ng ating household workers. This is where you should be able to assist more in being able to coordinate with the Labor Department of Egypt, Madam. Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Marcoleta. Are there any other members who wish to say anything? There being none, I'd like to excuse